in the United States, we're seeing political violence that I've never seen in my lifetime or have heard of. We're all experiencing it. It's happening on both sides. So I think both sides need to take a step back. We need to start getting back to politics and voting for who we want as a candidate, who we want to be elected, and don't go any further. You win some, you lose some. You vote, you support the candidates that you like. Everybody has their favorites, but it should never, under any circumstance, resort to violence.
Now, Donald Trump has faced multiple assassination attempts, including, you will remember, when he was grazed by a bullet on his ear whilst campaigning for the presidency. Well, one of his would-be killers was meant to be being sentenced in Florida today. The hearing has just now been pushed back. This is Ryan Ruth. He was convicted of plotting to kill Donald Trump, who was the then candidate. He was caught by the US Secret Service when he was spotted aiming his rifle at a golf course where Donald Trump was playing. But in our world of drones, hacking and attacks, we're asking, how do you protect arguably the most powerful person on the planet? Barry Donadio is a former agent in the US Secret Service, which guards presidents. Barry joins us. Barry, good afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
I think you were tasked with protecting, Obama and Bush. Tell us a bit about your job.
Well, as you can imagine, very exciting position to have and a great honor to do that. Being in the Secret Service is a change of life. It's not like any other job you'll ever have. Your life now becomes protecting the president and serving the people of the United States through the United States Secret Service. Imagine protecting somebody or something like, imagine if I told you to take an egg and carry it around for a year without ever cracking it. Something that fragile, that's how specific and attention to detail the Secret Service can be. That's how it is protecting a president. Every move is done well in advance. Every plan is done well in advance. And everything is coordinated to a level of expertise, as you can imagine.
So give us an idea. Let's say when you were working with Obama and he was going to make a public speech at a rally, for example, what would you be putting in place to ensure his safety?
Well, only so much I can talk about the security measures of the President of the United States, but I can tell you that there is a tremendous amount of coordination, advanced people on the scene, coordinating with local police, local state police as well, assets being brought into place to help coordinate the efforts to protect the president, and expert planning and execution of time management, as you can imagine.
Is it possible to guarantee a president's safety?
I think it's possible to guarantee to get the possibility lowest to zero as possible. Now, in my opinion, overall, can you have an untainted, absolute zero possibility forever that a president can possibly be tried to be assassinated? I don't think that really exists in reality. I know that there is a zero policy mission, but however, it's my thought process that you want to get the possibility as close to zero as possible and keep it there at all times. Could it fluctuate up to a 1%? Anything is possible, but the Secret Service is constantly reevaluating itself to keep itself to that zero possibility at all times.
Yeah, because look, in this specific case, you have someone aiming a rifle at a golf course where Donald Trump was playing. I mean, that presumably is a colossal security failure.
Well, I don't think it was a failure because they picked up on it and returned fire and saved the president's life. So the countermeasures did take the situation at hand and stop the assassination. The reason why those agents were there to be able to stop that, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. I'll tell you, Mr. Roth is actually very lucky because the Secret Service on all planes, all dimensions, are surgical shooters, whether it's with a rifle or a pistol. So he's very lucky he's even got a court case because I understand they did return fire.
What is the biggest threat, actually, that you are protecting the president from when they are out in public?
I think the unknown. I think today's world, which is very different to when I was there, I think AI is a big thing. I think drones are an issue. And then you also have the lone wolf that is just literally undetectable, that doesn't give any evidence whatsoever in a text message or talking to a friend, that just wakes up today and decides to do a violent act, and there's no way to trace it. So that is also a concern.
Were there scenarios, if you've got any examples, of where, because of security concerns, you quite radically changed the movements of, let's say, Bush or Obama?
I don't really have a specific scenario, other than I could tell you, once we're hired at the Secret Service, the saying is always that the White House is a magnet for crazy people. So in a kind of a comical way, to say that the White House, it magnifies people to it that are genuinely can be sick or mentally ill, maybe off their medications, and then suddenly want to go to the White House to have a talk to the President of the United States and show up at the front gate, or show up with hundreds of rounds of ammunition in a car, and maybe even a weapon, with some possibility of coming to the White House grounds and doing damage. So that seems to be something that happens on a regular basis, to where in my career, that would happen. And then, of course, thwarted by the Secret Service, even getting phone calls from a family member that, hey, somebody is not right. They're off their meds, and they told me they're coming from Ohio to the White House. You better start looking for them. So that's the kind of stuff that I have seen.
There was that extremely near miss in Pennsylvania, where Donald Trump had his ear grazed by a bullet. A member of the public did lose their life, actually, in that round of shooting. Charlie Kirk, obviously very different to a president, but a political figure who was shot dead. I wonder if you think that political violence feels more acute right now.
I agree with you. Yes. In the United States, we're seeing political violence that I've never seen in my lifetime or have heard of. We're all experiencing it. It's happening on both sides. So I think both sides need to take a step back. We need to start getting back to politics and voting for who we want as a candidate, who we want to be elected, and don't go any further. You win some, you lose some. You vote, you support the candidates that you like. Everybody has their favorites, but it should never, under any circumstance, resort to violence.
Barry, thank you very much for giving us insight into what an extraordinary job Barry Donadio, former US Secret Service agent.